Hello, hello. Welcome to the Full Stack Workshop. We're very excited to get started. Let me just go ahead and drop this link into the Discord. GM, let's see some GMs in the chat. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing this hackathon? We doing well. We learning. We're building cool stuff. I certainly hope so. Full Stack starting now. We're going to do some pretty cool stuff. We have a lot to go over today. I know on the calendar, it says that this is going to be a 2-hour session. Just for a heads up, we will probably only go an hour and a half. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, GM everybody. How's everyone's full stack experience, by the way? Who here has never done full stack development? Who here has? Let me know in the chat. Where are you in your full stack development journey? Are you new to it? Are you new to? Have you done full stack development, but you've never done Web3 full stack development or front end development? Or where are we at? How is everyone's full stack experience? Let me know in the chat. Where is our experience? Okay, what do we have? Familiar with full stack, but not Web3. Okay, cool, great. I am full stack. Excellent. Okay, cool. So full stack. I did some front end from your Python course. Awesome. Oh, so you did that really hard last, that really difficult last project. That was probably one of the hardest parts of the Python thing because it was like, all right, 13 hours of Python and then all of a sudden TypeScript. So glad. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was helpful. I have back in with Django. Oh, cool. Very cool. Back in with Django. Full stack here. Familiar, not the latest technology. Newbie. Okay, so a lot of people here have some familiarity. Great. So this will be perfect. We'll go over some full stack basics as we teach you full stack with Web3. Okay. So it is now 3 minutes past. Let's jump into it. Let me share my screen here. Oh, this is on the wrong. Sorry, 1 second. This is on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, much better. There we go. Much better. Okay, so let's talk. Please use framework. Okay, so this is a good point. So please use framework. For those of you who are familiar with full stack development and front end development, you know that a lot of people use frameworks. We will use a framework, but we're going to teach you the raw hard code, raw way first. Why? Well, it's important to know how things actually work because the frameworks actually abstract away a lot of what's going on, and that can actually make it more confusing if you just start with the framework. So first, we're going to show you guys some stuff. So let's go to a site. Let's go to docs.chain to link. Doesn't matter where we go. Now, on this browser, as you can, oh, is this not? I need to go a little wider on this. Yeah. Okay. Doop. That's better. On this browser. On the site, you can see that I have a whole bunch of stuff, installed. I have Solana, a Solana wallet. I have a MetaMask wallet. Now, what these do in your browsers is they actually change the way that your front end works. Okay. If I go ahead and inspect this and I go to console, if I do, let me zoom in on this. If I do, or window. If I do window.ethereum in this console, I get this thing. I get this object that returns. The first thing to know about full stack Web3 is that whenever you have a MetaMask, you have a Solana, you have any type of Web3 wallet in your browser, you're going to get this Ethereum object stuck in your JavaScript window. So this is just like a JavaScript terminal, right? I can do like let cat equals 7 or 8, and I can do cat 8, right? This is a JavaScript terminal. a JavaScript console. So this window.ethereum gets stuck in from MetaMask. And if I do window.solana, I get the Solana object. Now, guess what happens? Let me switch to a blank. Now, guess what happens if I don't have those in? Chain to link, or it doesn't really matter. So this is a different browser, right? This one doesn't have a MetaMask or anything. If I go to console here and I do window.ethereum, I get undefined. This doesn't exist. So let me zoom in a little bit. So the first thing to understand is that whenever we have a browser wallet, we're sticking the browser inside of our browser's environments so that we can actually access them and interact with them. And that's probably the first and most important thing to understand. Now, a lot of sites, like if I were to go to like app.aave.com, I think that's their site, or to go like Aave, for example. And let me disconnect here. Let's disconnect. Okay. And refresh. It's going to ask us to connect. And the reason that it knows to ask me to connect through my MetaMask is because it's got like a cookie store that it knows that, okay, I connected previously with my MetaMask. Go ahead and make that JavaScript call back to my MetaMask again to reconnect. You've probably seen before. Nope, that's not the one. Mouse wallet connect. Wow, I'm blanking on the name of the. No, that's not what I want. Blanking on the name of the package. Hold on. What's the name of it? The package that allows me to Web3 UI kit. Wow, there it is. Web3 UI kit. And then we'll use this in a little bit, but I just want to show you one thing in particular because Web3 wallet down. Okay. So a lot of times, like you'll see a website have these different connect options where you'll see a MetaMask button, Wallet Connect, Trust Wallet, Math Wallet, Token Pocket, SafePal, et cetera, et cetera. There's all these different types of wallets, and they all have different APIs to connect to. So a lot of times, front ends will have kind of the option to do all of these. And when you connect, basically what you're just saying is you're saying, hey, this object exists. And if I want to sign a transaction, you need to make a request to that person's wallet for them to approve the transaction to go through. So that's the first and most important thing to understand about wallets here. Are there any questions about that? I think to me, this is really like if you understand this, stuff becomes a lot easier. Like window.ethereum, and then we'll make API calls to this window.ethereum object in our JavaScript code. So any questions about this before we move on? Any questions about this? Any thoughts, comments, questions? No, we're all good. All right, cool. All right, I guess we're good. Can this be done with Python? Yes, we're not going to do it with Python because it's just so much more widely done with JavaScript. Okay, cool. Well, let's jump in. So this is where did my code go? Sorry. Make sure my questions are up to. Okay, so this is a real blank project, and we're going to create some minimalistic front end stuff, and we're going to see what it looks like. First thing I'm going to do, create a new file. We're going to call it my. Or now let's not call it my UI. We're going to call it index.html because that's is what HTML stuff does. And every single website has like some HTML thing. And then I think if I just do this, okay, cool. And this is like the most basic website out there that you can do. And let's put in the body here. Let's put just like hi. And now if I go to, if I serve this up, I'm going to hit, I have this like VS Code go live extension where I can just hit go live. And then what we can do, we can see it to the hi here. Hi. And that's it. If you don't have this go live, you can take this file and like drag it into your browser. You can also run like a go live server. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do. I think getting this go live extension is just the easiest way to do it for VS Code. Go live or live server. This is the one. And then you can just serve these up, and it's really easy and nice. So great. So we have our real minimalistic HTML up. And we're not going to go over too much front end stuff. So if you're newer to front end, there's definitely tons of courses out there that you can check out. But yeah, if you have questions as we go along, let me know. But okay, so we have our high up there. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a little button called connect, right? You saw like in Aave, right? If I disconnect my account, or pretty much every popular app out there, one of the first things that you need to do, if I hit X here, is going to connect your wallet, right? You see, please connect your wallet. And this is how the application can get information from Ethereum or whatever blockchain you're using, and B can interact with your wallet. And something else that's really cool that I probably should have mentioned is inside of our wallets, if we go to wallets, we go to add network. We're not actually going to add a network, but we go to advanced, or excuse me, we go to networks, and we do something like Ethereum mainnet. We can see this new RPC URL. All of our, or even like Gorelli, Sepolia, all of our blockchains have an RPC URL built into our MetaMask. And so whenever we're connecting to the blockchain, we're actually calling this RPC URL in the same way that we would use this RPC URL on, inside of Hardhat, inside of Brownie, Foundry, etc., to like make transactions to a chain. So when we connect our wallets, we're really connecting to this RPC URL, and we'll send requests to this wallet's private key. Anyways, so what we want to do then is same as Aave. One of the first things that we're going to want to do is to create a button to connect our site to it. So what we're going to do is inside of our body, we're going to do a little button. Oops. Button ID equals, we're going to call it connect button. Done. We're going to say connect. We're going to save it. Great. Now we have this connect button that doesn't actually do anything. All right, perfect. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to give this connect button that power to actually connect. So what we right underneath this, we can do script. So C equals actually, so we could do a script tag like this, and then put all our JavaScript in here. For ease of readability. We're going to do it a new file. We're going to do it index.js. So now we have an index.html with our HTML, and then our index.js, and we'll import this to our HTML in a second. But we're going to make a function that's going to connect, that's going to call that connect button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function in JavaScript here. I'm going to say async function connect. And inside here, we're first going to check this little inspect thing. We're going to say, okay, hey, does window.ethereum exist? Right? Because remember, if window.ethereum doesn't exist, then there's no MetaMask. There's no like way for us to connect to the blockchain. So we're going to say if type of window.ethereum is not equal undefined, then we're going to go ahead and await window.ethereum request, and we're going to say method ETH request accounts. And then that's really it. And we're going to update this to make this a little bit nicer. But now if I go to the front end and I hit connect, am I already connected? Oh, looks like I might already be connected. Let's disconnect. Oh, duh, I didn't import it. So back in our index.html, what we're going to do is at the bottom, we're going to say script src equals /index.js. So we're going to import this JS, type equals module, like that. And now we're going to connect that async function connect to our connect button. By back in our JavaScript up at the top, I'm going to say const connect button equals document dot get element by ID connect button, and get this connect button ID in our JavaScript, and then we're going to say connect button dot on click equals connect. We're going to say when we click this connect button, when we unclick it, we're going to call this connect function. Great. Now we're all hooked up. Now let's hit connect. We see MetaMask does indeed pop up like that. And then I got a little aggressive with the button clicking. And I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. But cool. So just by that, we now have a button that we can connect to our MetaMask. And if I hit next, connect, it says connecting. If we look in our MetaMask, we can now see that we are indeed connected. And if we hit connect again, nothing happens because we're already connected. So this is the most minimal front end we can create with HTML and JavaScript to connect our account. All right, questions. What will happen if we do not specify it as a module? I don't know. Let's try it. I forget why we have to do module. Connect. I don't know. I guess it works still. I'm sure there's a reason why I put module in there. I forget, though. Oh, call to JS object. You mean from the browser website JS object? Yes. Some sequence between wallet and JS. Yes. All right. So does this make sense so far? Any questions about this so far? This window thing is globally available. Window.ethereum. We make an API call to window.ethereum, and boom. I'm getting an error in connecting MetaMask to our website. Please help. Um, if you ask a specific question, maybe I can answer. Cool. All right, great. Moving on then. So we have that. What do we need next? Well, let's make this a little bit more robust. Usually it's better to wrap this in like a try catch. So we're going to try error console.log error. This way our app just doesn't like freak out if this doesn't work. And then we can also say, if we connect, we'll say connect button dot inner HTML connected. And if we just, if we save that, we connect. But I'm just going to leave it connected now. We'll connect. We now see it says connected. And then we can also do different stuff like, const accounts equals await window.ethereum.request method ETH accounts console.log accounts. And now if I connect, ETH account does not exist. That's because it's ETH accounts. Sorry. Connect, and now we see the accounts that are connected. Boom, and that's the account. Cool. So you might be asking, hey, Patrick, where are you getting these functions from? ETH account, ETH request accounts. Where are all these coming from? Well, they're coming right from the MetaMask docs. That's where. So if you go to the MetaMask documentation, or really any wallet documentation, basic usage, you can read all about that right here. And I'll drop a link to this chat as well. And so they have like all these built-in Ethereum methods. And I'm trying to find the request stuff. Here's the legacy stuff. Why is it not? Okay. And then we have, if you go to the, what is it? Restricted methods or RPC API. This is where kind of a lot of those ETH accounts, ETH call, get balance, send transaction, ETH sign, etc. are from. Cool. In this way, the execution continue. Also, IDK window.ethereum not exist. Not sure if this way the execution continue. Sorry, I'm not sure the question. So the dev console have access to the Chrome extension functions / methods. Essentially, yes. So anything in your browser, a lot of these extensions will basically dump stuff into here, right? And that's basically what's going on. It's giving us access to these right in our websites. So yes. Okay, great. So now we have index.js. We have a way to connect. Great. Now what do we do? Well, we probably want to send a transaction, right? So I'm going to cheat a little bit. And we're going to deploy a contract to a local network. So I'm going to drop this in the chat here. This is my Hardhat Fund Me free code camp project from the 32-hour Hardhat video. And it just has some contracts in here that I'm going to use so that I don't have to rewrite some. So this is our Fund Me contract that we're going to be going over. And if we scroll down to fund, What this contract does is it funds our contract based on the ETHUSD price. So we call fund, we send some ETH to it, and that's pretty much it. And then we can withdraw our funds as well. Just keeps track of how much we funded, how much we've withdrawn, and we need at least what is it, like $50 or something? We need at least like $50 or something. I forget. Oh, minimum USD. Where's minimum USD? Yeah, we need at least $50. So we need to send at least $50 in ETH to this. What happens if you're using some other wallet other than MetaMask? Does the API interface remain the same like you had mentioned? Great question. If you're using different wallets have different methods. So that's why, like with what we're going to see when we try out Web3 modal, each one of these kind of has their own setup, which can be really annoying for us developers. But it's why like stuff like this exists to just make it easier, and we'll go over that a little bit later. Will the window.ethereum work if I only install MetaMask but not logged into the account? Yes, it will, right? Because again, we're just looking to connect. Like once you have a MetaMask in your browser, window.ethereum will get placed into the JavaScript console. So yes, it will work. Good question. I mean, you won't be able to connect to anything, but it'll work. Anyways, so we have this contract. I'm going to go ahead and clone it. We're going to open it up in a different folder. So we're going to do cd dot make the hard hat there. We're going to do git clone. Code. Cool. And the only reason that we're doing this is just so that we can deploy a contract for our front end. So we're going to do yarn. We're going to install everything. Then we're going to deploy this. I have very cold coffee this morning. That was not intentional. And yes, I cover all of this in that 32-hour course. And then let me also grab you. Let me also grab you this other link as well while we're doing this. 1 second. There we go. So for those of you who want kind of just a more end-to-end, just like everything front end that we won't be able to cover here using a couple different frameworks, I just dropped a link to a video that I made in the past. If you want to like learn some more, I think it's very good. But okay, so great. We have this opened up. We did yarn. I think we did yarn, right? We did yarn. Yeah, we did yarn. And now we can do yarn hard hat deploy. If you go to the README as like a, let's do this. Go to the README, getting started, blah, blah, blah. All right, clone it, get yarn hard hat deploy. Great, we'll go ahead and do that. Yarn hard hat deploy. And what this is going to do is, sorry, we're going to do yarn hard hat node. Excuse me. What this is going to do, it's going to set up a fake hard hat node for us here. So we're serving our own hard hat node, and it has, if you scroll up a little bit more, it's got some contracts deployed. So deploying fund me here, fund me deployed. Here's the transaction. Here's the contract address. And then we do this other fund with storage thing. You can ignore that. But we have this contract address, right? And now I'm going to leave this node running in this other terminal. And this is going to be the contract that we're going to interact with. Okay. And again, let's just drop this down. It's still running, but we're just going to drop this down. And again, fundme.sol. And again, here's the fund me contract. The main thing that we're going to just play with is calling this fund function on a contract and then calling withdraw. Questions here. Cromore, what's up? How are you? How to get the ABI of an already deployed contract so we can use it on the front end? Great question. Lot of different methods there. One way is most compilers will have the ABI right in the JSON. So right here, here's the ABI of your compiled contract. If you have it verified on Etherscan, you can get it as well. You could also just put it in yourself. Like you could build the ABI yourself if you wanted to. There's a number of different ways to get the ABI. What's up, Tippy? Drinking hot tea and doing I'm gonna pronounce that wrong while watching this. You had to time it during my morning workout. Oh, nice. Working out while coding. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, cool. So now we have this this is deployed. This is all of our stuff. Great. So one of the first things that we want to do is we want to, since this is on a local network, we want to make sure that we're going to connect to this. So we're going to grab this, we're going to copy it, and we're going to import it into our MetaMasks. I think I already have it imported, so I'm going to unimport it and then re-import it. Networks. Is that already imported? So I already have it imported, but yeah, actually I'm not going to import it. So what you would just do is you would go to your, you could make a new one if you wanted to. I'm just going to my local host. You paste that address in like that. Localhost is the same as this. These are both the same. And put the chain ID of 31337 because it's hard hat. The hard hat chain ID is 31337. The truffle chain ID is 1337. Currency symbol ETH. And we'll go ahead and save that. Cool. So now, back in my app, what I can do. So I'm going to switch networks. Oh, I already did. Switch networks to here, and now this is now connected to my hard hat node. And what I can do is it gives us all these accounts. I can copy this private key. Go back to my MetaMask. We'll do import account, paste the private key, import. Oh, it's a duplicate. Okay, cool. Well, I already have it imported. Maybe I don't have it imported. Oh, okay. Oh, I have, okay. It's way down here. So it's already imported. And I have 10,000 ETH because the hard hat local node gives us 10,000 ETH to start with. So great. Awesome. Is there a tool to decode ABI using contract bytecode? You can't get the contract bytecode from, excuse me, you can't get the ABI from the contract bytecode. Well, you could, but it would be tricky. There are some tools that are like decompilers, online Solidity decompiler. They don't always work perfectly though, because reasons. Because it can be really difficult to really decompile bytecode back to Solidity. Yeah. How to fix if issue when we log into MetaMask localhost, but MetaMask says switch network. How to fix if issue when we log into MetaMask localhost, but MetaMask says switch network. Maybe your localhost isn't running, right? Remember, the only reason we could switch to localhost is because we have this running right now, and well, I guess we're running into some weird errors, but that's fine. Whatever. Great. Okay. Cool. So in any case, we have this running. Now let's interact with it. So back in our index, let's create a new button called called fund. So we have connect. Let's do a button type or ID equals fund. Oh, and then if I should have sent this earlier. Sorry. And this is the link for this for all the code that we're going over. If you want to follow along, um, you can check out the repo there. Okay, cool. Fund. We're going to say fund like this. And in our index.js, we're going to do the same thing up here. We're going to do const fund button equals document dot get element by ID. Fund button. And then we'll add an on click. Oh, I should do the balance button first, actually. Yeah, let's do the balance button first. Okay, sorry. We are going to do this fun button in a second, but just to show you balance stuff, we'll do button ID equals balance. Balance. Do a balance button. Const balance button equals document dot get element ID balance button. I just wanted to turn my lights off. So we're going to create a balance button. If we go back to front end, we have a balance and a fun button. They both don't do anything, but they will. And we'll say balance button dot on click equals get balance. So we're going to create a function called get balance where we're just going to get the balance of our wallet. So we're going to do async function get balance in our JavaScript get balance. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say if type of window.ethereum does not equal undefined. Then the first one of the first things we're going to do, and we could do everything with raw like MetaMask stuff, like MetaMask requests here. But oftentimes instead we're going to want to use like a package, right? Like in Hardhat, we used a lot Ethers. In Truffle, they used a lot of Web3.js. So we're going to want to use Ethers for this, right? Because if we want to get the balance of something, normally what can we just do? Well, we can usually just do like, provider equals Ethers dot providers dot RPC provider, something like that. And then we can do const balance equals await provider dot get balance, and then some address here, right? So we want to connect our ethers, the ethers package, to an RPC provider like this. So of course, that means that we're going to have to get ethers in here. So what we can do, we'll go to ethers docs documentation, and it has getting started, import Node.js, all right, web browser. So for quick demos, we can just do it like this or like this. But it's better practice to just copy the Ethers library to our own web server and serve it ourselves. So what we can do is we can just come here, really oddly, just copy this whole thing, come back in here, make a new file. We'll say ethers 5.6 .esm.min.js. Paste that whole thing in here. It's horrendous glory. Great. And then what we can do is in our JavaScript, oops, in our JavaScript. We'll import it. So now up at the top here, we'll say import ethers from /ethers 5.6.esm.min.js. And yes, this is how you do imports in HTML. In a framework like React or something using Node.js, we'll see like a different syntax here sometimes. But this is the most current up-to-date way to do packages with like raw HTML like this. But yes, you'll see when we do like React, it gets a little easier than us having to copy paste files into our project. But then what we can do once we have ethers imported is down here, we can basically do what we just did. So first we'll say const provider equals new ethers.providers.web3 provider window.ethereum. So normally when we want to connect to like an RPC, we'd have to put like a local host thing in here. But Ethers has it set up that it goes, oh, okay, I'm looking for a wallet, and the wallet is going to be our connection to the blockchain, right? Because to read the balance off the blockchain, well, you're going to need a connection to the blockchain. So we just pass a window.ethereum, and now Ethers knows, okay, this is a wallet. I'm going to call that RPC URL that's inside of the networks, right? Remember? If we go back to our MetaMask here, it goes, aha, I'm going to call this. If I'm on mainnet, I'm going to call this. If I'm on Zavolia, I'm going to call this, et cetera, et cetera. Ethereum. And then what we can do is we can do const balance equals await provider dot get balance. And we could put anything we want in here, right? Like, for example, we could do we do our account, right? Yep. And it would print out like 10,000. So now if we go back to our site, do a little refresh. Cannot set properties on click. Get balance. Did I spell something wrong? Oh no, click equals get balance. Balance button. Did I spell something wrong? Did I spell something wrong? My buttons aren't ID'd correctly. Uh-oh. Oh, duh. Thank you. I'll do refresh. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Oops. Ah. There we go. Okay. Console. Okay. Now, if we hit balance, oh, we're not connected. HTML button .get balance. Provider.get balance is not a function. Uh-oh. Am I spelling something there? Provider.get balance is the B count. Oh, whoops. Get balance. Connected. Great, we're connected. Balance. And I should console.log it. Console.log balance. There we go. All right, connected. Great, balance. There we go. Now we have a big number. Let's do this as a string balance. Okay, cool. And we can see the balance here. So we can see the balance of our account here. Awesome. All right, cool. Questions. Thanks. What extensions are you using for the suggestions? So this is GitHub Copilot. I'm actually going to turn it off. Yeah, let's GitHub Copilot. I've seen libraries like Web3 React. Would you consider those stable enough to use, or would you prefer rolling your own solution for production dApps? Yeah, I mean, Web3 React is used for stuff like Uniswap and stuff, and Aave. So I would definitely say it's stable enough to use. Um, I think a lot of people definitely don't need to roll their own. The other thing is, if you find a package that you like, go through it and make sure it's stable enough to use. Right? Don't reinvent the wheel. Go through it, check it out yourself, do your due diligence, and if there's something you want to improve, make a pull request. And if they don't merge it, just fork it. Your buttons aren't ID'd correctly. Yes, thank you. In a production dApp, would you use the same, or would you use a package manager like PMPM and PMYARN? So for raw HTML, if you want to build your website in raw HTML, and you absolutely can, you would want to do it like this. You would want to copy paste it like this. Now for a framework like React, like Svelte, etc., and you'll see once we get to that part of the learning here, we will use like npm yarn to grab in dependencies. It's just for if you're using raw HTML, this is how you want to do it. So frameworks like React have a lot of stuff that they do on the back end to make your syntax nicer, to just make kind of stuff work. And so it's just a different setup. But yeah, if you were to make your production application with pure HTML, you would do it like this. Thank you. If we are creating a dApp which can use multi-chain, in that case, can we safely assume that every wallet in the inject the provider instance? In that case, can we safely assume that every wallet will inject the provider instance in window.ethereum? Yes. Yes. If they don't, you want to handle that by throwing like an error, like, hey, cannot connect to the blockchain or something. So you can assume that, but you still want to handle for it if it doesn't happen. If we are creating a dApp which can use multi-chain, in that case, yeah, I answered that already. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So we have a balance here. But what we're going to do is we don't want the balance of our wallet address. We're going to want the balance of that funding contract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file called constants.js. And in here, we're just going to add a whole bunch of constant variables, including, as a lot of people have mentioned, the ABI. But more importantly, we're going to do the contract address. So we're going to do export const contract address equals, and we'll pull back up this, which is freaking out for some reason, but I don't care. Forget all you want. Let me deploy to here. Copy that address. And now we have the contract address, and in our index.js, we can now import it. Up at the top, we'll say import address from /constants.js. And instead of doing the balance of that, we're going to get the balance of the contract address. Okay. Now, if we go back to our front end, we do balance, we're going to get 0 because we haven't funded it with anything. Okay, cool. Now that you're importing a new module, Ethers, that's the reason you put module type. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Carlos. Yes. This is probably a stupid question, but are you aware of server-side rendered dApps are possible? I'd imagine you'd have to wait to reference the window object on the client, but I haven't done this before. I haven't done this before for Web3. Yeah, no, they're possible. I don't know how the user would interact. It'd just be difficult for the user to then interact with the application if everything is server side, right? Because they're not gonna send you their private key. Like you still have to do some stuff in the client side. With Next.js, it's possible. I mean, it's possible with pretty much any framework. But for most Web3 dApps too, the mentality is you want as much client side as possible. Well, okay, that's not true. That you want to make sure that the users have confidence in what's going on with the front end, especially in Web3. In fact, most front ends, actually, if we just like went to Aave right there, see this little IPFS thing. Like a lot of these websites are like should and can be hosted on something like IPFS, so they can be like really truly like so that the front end can also be decentralized as well. So if you're doing things server side, the front end can't be hosted on something like IPFS. It's really hard to decentralize your front end when you have server side stuff. Good questions. Yeah, exactly. All the signing related stuff should be done client side. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, you could do something where you send the sign transaction server side. I don't know why you do that. How do you use Chainlink Connect Wallet? Is that a thing? Thanks, Patrick. I'm sitting front end brain exercise while working on my back end. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, cool. So we have index.js. We've connected. We've gotten the balance. Let's create this fund thing. So we'll do async function fund, and we're going to create a fund function. So we're going to say const ETH amount equals, and then we're going to, on our front ends, we're going to have to add, when we have this fund button, we're going to have to add a little text box for how much we want to fund. So we're going to say ETH amount equals document get element. I should make the box first. By ID, ETH amount value, and in our index.html, we're going to do that. So we're going to put it underneath here. So we're going to say input ID equals ETH amount. We'll do place holder equals 0.1. This. Now we have this thing we can put stuff in. We're going to grab the value here. So we're going to grab whatever's in that little box. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say console.log funding with ETH amount. And we're going to send a transaction. So same thing, if type of Uno.Ethereum doesn't equal undefined. Const provider equals new ethers.providers.web3 provider window.ethereum. We're going to say const signer equals provider.get signer. And this is how we're getting, the wallet connection here. So, excuse me, this is how we're connecting to our wallet, basically. And then this is how we're getting the account from our MetaMask. Const signer equals provider.get signer. Then we're going to say const contract. So we have our account that's going to sign just by calling get signer. Now we're going to need to get the contract to actually call the fund function on. So we're going to say const contract equals new ethers.contract. We need to pass it the contract address, which we have already pulled in. But we're also going to need to give it the ABI, and then of course our signer as well, which we already have. So the ABI, as some people have asked, hey, like, where do we get that? Well, we are going to go back to our hard hat project and we're just going to grab it from here. Now, there's a ton of different ways you can get the ABI. This is just the one that I'm going to do. We're going to copy this. Bam, like that. And back in my constants, I'm going to do export const ABI equals, paste it like that. Looks good to me. And we're going to import it, contract address, comma ABI. Bam. If I went too fast, let me know. ABI center. Okay, cool. So now we have a contract. We have the contract address. We got the ABI and we got the center. Remember, the ABI is just kind of this like JSON list thing that tells our JavaScript how we can interact with our contract. So, for example, we can see we have a minimum USD view function that we can call. We have a cheaper withdrawal function we can call, a fund function we can call, etc. So that's what the ABI does. And then, of course, we're going to connect it to the signer so that whenever we call a function on this contract JavaScript object, it'll send a request to our signer MetaMask. So now what we can do is we can try const transaction response equals await contract.fund, and then we'll send some value. The value will be ethers.utils.parse ether, ETH amount. And then we can do await transaction response.wait 1. And then we'll do catch error. Console.log error. Now we have a fund function. We've got a fund button. We've got an ETH amount. Connect everything up. Do fund button.onClick equals fund. Cool. Now we're connected, right? We're connected. We're connected to the wrong account. So let's go ahead and disconnect this one. Now let's hit connect. We're going to go ahead and connect to our account here that actually has ETH in it that I imported. Great. It's at this address now. We'll hit balance. Balance of the contract is now 0. Now if I put 0.1 in here and I hit fund, we'll now see funding with 0.1. It's calling that fund function. We'll see 0.1 ETH. We'll hit confirm. This transaction just went through. We should add like a little completed thing. But now if we hit balance, we can see the balance of the contract has gone up. Right. And so if we go to balance, we could even change this. We could say const balance raw equals that. And then we could say const balance equals balance raw dot to string ethers.utils dot format ether that. Now if we hit balance, we see 0.1. So we're just formatting it from its way to, to this. And cool. So now we see we've successfully funded our contract using the front end and interacted with the contract. That's pretty freaking awesome. Okay. Scrolling up. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm thinking a dashboard with tons of data pulled from backend, and that's why we SSR. Yes. So that would be good. Yeah, actually, a lot of applications do that. So yes, that would be good. Huge shout out. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to help the people learn. Button HTML says ETH. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Spelling was never my strong suit. That's why I code, right? Hello. How do I compare string using the require statement. Am getting an error comparing a struct attributes to a plain string. That sounds like a great Piranha or Stack Overflow question. It looks like it's not quite related to what we're discussing here. If you want to, how do I compare the string user requires I'm getting an error comparing a struct attributes to a plain string? Yeah, I would ask that on Stack Overflow or Piranha. I'd have to see the exact error you're getting in the exact code. You could also use Kachak. Sorry, could you please walk through the args that we are passing the contract function in? Yes, I knew I did that kind of quick. Yeah. So, and you can see all this in the Ethers documentation as well. Go to, not here, Ethers docs. Documentation, contracts, contract, creating instances, contract. Here we go. Creating instances. New ethers.contract, address, ABI, signer or provider. And then you can see the source down here. That's not super helpful. But that's it. So you need the address of the contract, the ABI, and the signer or provider. Great. And that's pretty much it for the raw HTML stuff. Are there any questions on any of this so far? So we've gone for an hour. We have only another 30 minutes. I know it says 2 hours, but I cannot do the 2 hours. Any questions on any of this HTML stuff before we hop over to some like Next.js? Any questions here? Questions? Next.js, yes. No questions. Everyone good? Yeah, buddy. Oh, you guys are pumped for Next.js, huh? All right, let's do some Next.js. Cool. We're gonna dump this. Goodbye. And we're gonna make a new. They are Next.js lottery. Boom. Code. Next.js lottery. Boom. Bam. Next.js is the best. Forget the rest. Oh, okay. That's the plan, my friend. How to do a meta transaction. We're not going to cover that here. Okay, cool. So let's move to Next.js. So for those of you who are kind of newer to front end, Next.js is a JavaScript framework. It's a React framework, and it just allows us to do a lot of stuff. Oh, they got a conference. That's cool. Allows us to do a lot of stuff easier with our front ends. So there's a bit of a learning curve, but yeah, you'll see. It's good though. It's good. Okay, so in order to use Next.js, they actually have a pretty good like getting started page. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's go to docs. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, boom. This is how you first do it. So yarn. First, you want to have yarn or npm or whatever, and then you just do like yarn create or npm or npx create. I'm going to use yarn next app. That's it, right? So in here, I'll do yarn create next app, and I'm going to do a little dot just so that doesn't make a new directory. And it's going to install a ton of stuff stuff. I'm East Coast, Mr. Pattinson. And all this stuff is going to help making our full stack development work a lot easier, a lot nicer. And we got all this stuff in here. Node modules, obviously node modules. In Next.js, it has this pages thing. Each one of these pages represents like a page on your website. Index.js being the home or main page, and then app.js is kind of this this app that your whole Next.js project is almost wrapped around. Public is like stuff like images and stuff. Styles is for styling. This is like your config file for Next.js. Package.json is package.json for understanding dependencies and having some scripts and stuff. And we have a README, and then we have yarn.lock, which is our package dependency lock file. Cool. And then what we can do is if we go to our package.json, you can see if we run yarn dev, we'll run next dev, which is what we want to do. So we'll run yarn dev. It's going, okay, cool. It's going to compile everything and create this like server. And what we can do then, so we click this button, or we can, excuse me, we can go to this site. Welcome to Next.js. If I bring this down, we go to pages, index.js. What is it? Welcome to the next. Welcome. Oops. Welcome to the stream for smart contract glory. Oh, I broke something. Oh. Welcome to the stream for smart contract glory. Great. So, and I hit save. So everything you edit in here is going to be reflected on your website. Any question about that setup? App.js is like index.js and React. Well, the thing that's confusing is there is an index.js. But yeah, app.js is really kind of your main function. Cool. And index.js is our homepage. So there's all this stuff in here, and we want to make this a lot easier. So we're going to dump the majority of this. By the majority, I mean like almost all of it. And here we're just going to have hi. Our front end now just says hi. Cool. So now we just have hi. Awesome. So same as HTML, one of the first things that we're going to do is we want to connect our front ends. So I'm going to skip. Yeah, it is a little confusing, Robert. I'm going to skip. Normally when I do these, I take you through the hard way of like connecting your React project to your front end. And I think everyone should still do that, but in the interest of time, I'm going to skip over that. There's a lot of like stuff that needs to happen when you connect to make the user experience really good. Like the way we did in the HTML section, you saw like if I hit connect button and already was connected, like nothing would happen. If I hit connect button and the connect button said I was connected, but I wasn't connected, MetaMask would pop up. And there's all these like weird things that you have to keep in mind when building the front end for user experience. And we could hard code all that stuff and think of that all. And I'm going to just drop this down, but yes, the site's still going, don't worry. Or what we could do is like somebody just said, hey, could we just like import a package that like does it all for us? And to that I say, absolutely we can. So what I like to do is I like to make a components folder, new folder, components. And in here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a header component for our top here that has our connect button. So in here, I'm going to new file, header.js. And this is and this is where we're going to put all header information, but we're going to use a plugin. Yeah, RainbowKit has a good plugin. Web3 React has a good plugin. Web3 Modal. I'm going to use the Web3 UI kit because I really, really like it. So we're going to do export default function header. And you'll see some of the syntax in React or in Next.js is already a little bit different. But we're going to return navbar h1, oops, one lottery div, oops, div this, and then in our app, is it our app? Is it our app that I put it in? Where did I put it? And then no, we put it in the index. Yeah, we're gonna save that, and then in our index, we're gonna do import header from the slash components slash header, and we're just gonna stick our header right underneath our head. Now we have lottery up here, and this is coming from our header component. Awesome. Okay. But we don't have a button here yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to install Web3 UI kit. Yeah, or I could put it in an app and wrap the whole. I could do that too. We're going to add Web3 UI kit core, Web3 UI kit Web3, Web3 UI kit icons. We're going to copy that, paste it in here. And you will soon see that our lives are much easier when you can just install a button like this. Much easier. And if we go back to this, what kind of, it's called connect button. We can see in here the docs, show code, connect button. That's kind of hilarious that that's the code. I forget which one it's from though. Okay, cool. So we have it. And now what we can do is we'll import that connect button from, where am I connecting it from? Actually recently updated it, so I forget. Where did, I have too many tabs open. Is it core? Web3 UI kit. I think it's from there. And then under lottery in our nav, in here, connect button like this. Now in our front end, expected a string. Whoops, sorry. And then the other thing you have to do is you have to wrap your whole app in the Morales provider. So what we're going to do in here is we're going to say import Morales provider. Doing it right. Did I install Morales already? Oh, I didn't install Morales. So then we're also going to do yarn add Morales, React Morales. And then once that installs, we're going to import Morales provider from React Morales app. And then we're going to wrap our whole page in this Morales provider. And even if we weren't using Morales, we would still need to wrap our app in some type of what's called a context. And it just makes life 1,000 times easier. So Morales provider. And the only other thing we need to do is do initialize on mount. Sorry, I know I'm going a little bit quick without explaining stuff. Because I got to jump off in 15 minutes. Initialize amount equals false. Morales provider has some optional server functionality, and we're just going to say, hey, we don't want that server functionality. We just want your open source goodness. So let's refresh here. It's upset. Start again. Cannot resolve Morales v1. Uh-oh. Next Morales. Did they update the package since I made my little demo here? Port React Morales. Oh, they did? Oh, okay. All right, so then I am doing an outdated stuff. You need to install Morales v1. What is that? V1. Beauty of open source. Morales v1 JavaScript SDK. Oh, interesting. So I need to do yarn add Morales v1 like that. Okay. Oh. Try again. And then if this doesn't work, I'm just going to install specific dependencies somewhere else. The ones that actually I know that work. Expect a string. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Sorry. I guess I'll have to go back to the Morales docs and figure out what the differences are. You had this problem with the 32-hour course? Yeah. Well, the good thing is you can always do exact dependencies. Goodbye, 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 bye. All right, check it out. So we're going to do yarn add Morales. What is it? At 1.8.0. Yarn install specific versions. How do you do install specific versions? I forget. I like have it. I've done this 100 times, but I always forget. Yeah, specific version of package with yarn doesn't work. Yarn add specific package versions. The key to being a successful developer is being a successful web searcher. Yarn add package name at. That's what I just did, right? Yarn add Morales at. Oh, duh. I'm a dummy. It's because it's mad here. Ah, there we go. Exactly. When more videos quant solidity? What would a quant solidity be? Okay, let's install React Morales. So we're going to yarn add React Morales at 1.4 or 1.4.0. Make this demo work. in Yarn, add Web3 UI kit at 0.1.159. And then we're just going to do it my way. So we're just going to do from Web3 UI kits instead of Web3 UI kit core. And the rest should be the same. So yeah, so I'm installing older versions because I know they work and I like them. But I probably should learn the new stuff. What do you do for a living? I just Google stuff. I DuckDuckGo stuff now. But yes, I also just Google stuff. Once Brave Search becomes a thing, I'll probably do that too. Brave Search is awesome. Okay, Yarn Dev. Here we go. 5th time's the charm. Oh, it's still mad about Morales v1. What the heck? Can I just install like really specific versions? React Morales 1.4.0, Morales 1.8. Do this. We're gonna just delete everything, or delete all the packages. Remove .next. And we're gonna try again. Yarn. We'll try again. Now we're using very specific dependencies. We deleted all the other node modules that might be confusing it. And give this a whirl. If it doesn't work, well, we have 8 minutes left, so I'm not able to. Do I just need to add Morales v1? But like that would seem to not make sense though, right? Because you'd want to. Live debugging is so fun, isn't it? I just get to look so silly in front of everybody. Like why would I need to add this if this worked before, according to Discord? I have React Morales in here, right? React Morales, real specific version. Can't find Morales v1. That's so weird. Yarn add. Ah! v1. Yes, we all got to debug. Get really good at debugging. That's like my superpower. If I can teach people anything, it's like, hey, learn how to debug. Learn how to like Google really, really quick. Patrick is running out of time. I mean, so the thing is, like, updating is good though. Like all these packages that are updating and growing and stuff, I'm pumped that they're doing that. It means they're working on the stuff. Okay, Morales, make sure to only call use Morales with a Morales provider. Did I not do that? Morales provider is clearly right here. Did I not? Morales provider. All right, so I'd have to go see what I messed up later. Actually, all right, what do we think? We have 6 minutes. Do you want to see me like fiddle around with this more and try to? It's Morales dash v1, not Morales v1. Oh, did I not? Morales dash v1. No, I installed it. Do you guys want to see me fiddle around and like try to debug this, or do you want to just ask questions, or what do you want to do? Import Morales provider from React Morales. Oh my god, am I spelling things wrong? Oh, that's right. Am I spelling it wrong? Wrong. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure to only call use Morales with a Morales provider. Searching, just use Stack Overflow. With header component changing the import. Connect button from Web3 UI kit. React Mouse 1.4.2. React Mouse 1.4.2. Oh, am I the wrong? I need 1.4.2. 0. You don't actually need the Magic SDK. Should report browse provider. Morales, React Morales. We'll try React Mouse 1.4.2. It's conflict with Web3 UI kit somewhere. Yes, that's probably what it is. But I thought I had my dependencies right, because I thought I updated them. No, it's oh, you're right. Oh, because I'm using the right. Yes. Global search use Morales. Yeah, but it's gonna be in one of the packages somewhere. Files to include node modules. Ugh. Oh wait, switching in all files. I don't want to do that. Here we go. Last time, and then I'm gonna give up because we have 3 minutes left, and I'll fix it later. Kudos to all the front end developers. I mean, it's definitely the connect button that's screwing up. Oh, what the heck? Oh, it was 1.4.2. Oh, so I just had the dependency wrong. Hey, look at that. Thank you for all your help, chat. Y'all are the real winners here. So dependencies are fun, aren't they? Yeah, thanks all for the help here. So we're gonna disconnect. But what this button does is what this connect thing does, and I'm gonna have to go back and learn the new Morales stuff. What this connect button does is if we hit connect, it pops up this modal, which is really helpful, obviously, and it gives us more ways to connect, right? And now if we hit MetaMask, we connect. We're gonna go ahead and connect here. And what's cool is if you like refresh the site, it stays up. If you disconnect from MetaMask, right? If we go here, we go ahead and disconnect, it automatically disconnects on the site. And that's like all really basic functionality that you'd have to put in yourself. And that's not, and it's already been done, right? So using one of these libraries, I think is the better option than running one yourself, unless, of course, the library doesn't do what you want it to do. And I got to learn what the new stuff is, because I'm hoping that since I'm using an older version, that means the new stuff is even better. So cool. So we have just about no time left. Wow. So let's take some questions. So thanks for sticking with me, y'all. And sorry we didn't get to everything in there. Let me send you the code for that. Code for that Next.js lottery, which now, yeah. So like a lot of the free code camp stuff. So here's the link for that. A lot of the free code camp stuff, we're probably not going to update. We're going to keep it as like those specific packages, because for people watching the videos, they'll be able to follow along. But yeah, like, I mean, making videos is so tough because every 2 months somebody pushes a patch that like breaks something. Yeah. Any questions? Okay, Greg. Quick question. Was waiting till the end about the first day where you mentioned optimistic DAOs. Did you mean optimistic oracles? Optimism DAO? Any quick answer or ask in Discord? Both. So optimistic oracle is an oracle that pushes data to a blockchain, and then I should put my face in this. Pushes data to a blockchain, and then issues like a challenge period. So you have like a week or something to challenge that data. That's something that Chainlink would be awesome to have. Some type of optimistic oracle for voting or something. Would love to see somebody build that. with Chainlink. Yeah, that'd be really cool. So that's optimistic Oracle. Optimistic DAO is kind of the same thing, where you do a vote with some new voting mechanism and some type of creative gas saving mechanism. And whatever the outcome of the vote is, you optimistically say, okay, great, that's what it is. And then you have a challenge period as well. A challenge period to challenge that governance vote. So I think both of those are really cool. Wouldn't it be better to learn how to use auto update, like in React's use effect, from scratch rather than using these packages? It would help a beginner to understand the fundamentals when landing a job. Yes. Well, what do you mean by auto update? So like I said, like when I'm normally teaching this stuff and I have more time, I will go over like how to basically build that button that we imported from Web3 UI kit ourselves, which does some local storage stuff. It does some React state stuff. It does do like use effect and use state. So it does use like React hooks and stuff. But it's like learning exponents, right? You want to learn exponents, how exponents actually work the right way, and then you learn, all the like tricks and stuff, like x, like the derivative of x squared is like you just take the 2 and if it's and move it over to the left. But first you want to understand like the hard way of how to do that. I didn't explain that very well. But yes, you want to learn how to do both. You want to learn how to do the hard way so that you know what's going on under the hood, but then you want to know how to do it the easy way so that you can code faster and more efficiently. Any other questions? Hopefully this was helpful. I know we're ending it half hour early, but yeah, any other questions here? Got my little frog sticker. Oh, it's keyed out by the green screen. That's kind of cool. Can you? That's pretty cool. Wow, super sick. Thank you all. No final thoughts, comments, questions. So you're all front-end masters. This means you're all going to go off and build really cool Web3 applications. We want to use signers with MetaMask without paying transaction fee. So like a meta transaction, like EIP 712. That would be another. That's a long conversation. Is there a method for that? Yes. So there is a sign, a method you can call. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's definitely in the MetaMask docs, though. Great question. Okay, cool. Well, I hope you all learned something. Good luck in the hackathon, and we'll see you soon. Bye all.